Okay. All right. Not sure how this is turning out here, guys. Let's see. So we'll go ahead and try to see if I can get this working. Question is, will I be able to get it to work? That I don't know. Okay, let's see. Boy. Okay, so it's gonna be all right. So whoever just joined, thank you for coming in. I'm not sure if you're hearing any audio, so I'll just punch that in just in case. I swear, trying to get this thing to be set up is actually a lot rougher than I hoped it would be. So I just hope the microphone audio actually works worth anything. If you can hear me, if you notice that, if you see that I have earbuds in, I do apologize. I'm not sure if the microphone piece of this MacBook's working. Again, if you can hear me, I punched a comment asking if you can hear the sound all right. Hopefully, there's a response there. Okay, so too bad I can't do a quick test thing on this without having to stop this, but let's see. Okay, so that mutes the mic and that does not. So, God, I feel like a freaking noob, and I'm usually tech savvy with stuff like this. Good Lord. Let's see if I can. Okay, let's see if I can get. You can hear it just fine. Cool, Rift. Thank you. Okay, well, I guess. Thank you for coming out, Rift. How you doing tonight? I don't, or evening, whatever time it is for you. How you doing? And if you see a bunch of stuff in the backdrop, I do apologize. Going through cleaning up a house doesn't exactly doesn't take as short a time as I hoped it would. You're doing good. I'm glad to hear that. How am I doing? I survived Black Friday. If that tells you anything. Work today was bloody. Oh, I can't really say bloody murder because calling bloody murder would be comparing it to two Black Fridays last year and the year before that I did with my previous work. So chaotic, we'll just say. But outside of that, I'm doing pretty good. Uh, this is actually going to be first time I actually have live streamed via YouTube. Normally, when I live stream, it's from my I'm doing it from a computer. Normally, I do it from my PlayStation 4. Wish I had a way to stream it with a camera, but the way I have my PS4 set up right now, that's not exactly possible. So right now, I'm trying to see if a couple friends of mine are willing to drop by and maybe try to spread the word around. I don't know if there's a few guys from another area of YouTube that I didn't know if I can get them, since Being a noob at live streaming and not knowing many connections doesn't exactly benefit. What's up, Young Jax? How you doing tonight? I know it's close to midnight where you are. Thanks for dropping by. Trying to see if I can get Thrash over here as well, but I don't know if, it says he's online on one thing. Apex, spill the tea. How you doing, Apex? So just to make sure, Rift, I know you said you can hear the audio just fine. I just want to make sure, does the audio sound clean, or is it like, is there any delay? Just wanted to make sure that, before I get into what I'm talking about, I want to make sure that the audio is crisp, is crisp and good, because I don't know if I take this off and unplug this, if that'll screw up the audio. I don't know. Again, the mic, when I tried to do it, gave me hell. You know what? Let me try just to see what happens, because I would like to take these out of my ears. So, can you guys hear me okay without the earbuds, or did you guys just lose audio? Let me know. And you're doing good, Apex. Glad to hear it. So, it looks like the mic. The mic says it on these bars that it's working, but I just want to make sure. Fingers crossed. Well, not literally. Yeah, just let me know if you guys can hear me good like this. Then perfect. Then I'll just go with this. You're great. I can hear you fine. Thank you, Young Jax. So, okay. So, all right. So now I know I can. Okay, give me a second. I need to put a lamp up. One moment, please. God, I set this thing a little too low, but I was trying to get a better lighting in this area because I was going to sit here. And sorry, you have to view the ceiling. Okay, so there's... All right, so Young Jax, you'll probably know what I'm talking about. Anyone else who's watching is probably going to be confused with the name of the title of addressing some community toxicity. Sorry for that weird shadow there. So I'm kind of going to preface the first by saying that when it comes to certain individuals who I'm close with, that even though I'm close with certain individuals, Young Jax is one, another close friend is, Thrash. I'm not the kind of person to, I guess you could say, hide. Like if I see something wrong, and Young Jax will vouch for this, Thrash, if you're watching this, I don't know, he'd vouch as well. It's like if I see something really stupid that they're doing, I'm the kind of person that's be like, hey, that's gonna call them out on it. So there's been some, I guess you could say, ongoing issues that have, gotta make sure I say this right, that have plagued, if that's the right word, a community that's already suffered from enough toxicity. Now, what do I mean when I say enough toxicity? There's been, trying to figure out the right way to say this, there's been some pretty bad shit that's gone on. Just as example, and I don't like to think about this, but I do. Onision, when it came to all these accusations, when it comes to pedophilia, these nude, these inappropriate pictures, and the age range of it, and there's been people who have talked about it. So the issue that's unfortunately been coming about is that it's unfortunately the fact that it's drawn out some good people for sure, but it's also drawn out some really disgusting, childish, ignorant people. If I said ignorant twice, I'm sorry. So here's the problem. There's been some things that have happened. Videos have been made, rants have been done, comments and threats and various toxic words have been exchanged although most of the toxicity has thankfully been one-sided, but it's still an ongoing problem. I'm going to play. I'm gonna play a clip or a piece, and I'm actually gonna do it from this side. Now, so let me kind of give quick a quick way to put this. There's been some issues that have gone between a YouTuber named Mike an Actor and then a close friend of mine, Thrash, which from the last stream that I watched of Thrash, they seem to put their differences aside. I'm not going to say, Thrash, if you're watching this, please clarify. But there's a few things that have, and I'm going to put it bluntly, raised a lot of eyebrows. Now, Mike an Actor, if you guys have no idea who I'm talking about, he's a YouTuber who likes to do videos covering various individuals. I'm not sure if that's the right way to put this, but one of the biggest ones that has been on his channel has been, as much as I hate to bring it up, Onision. Now, I've noticed since I've looked through, I'm looking through a lot of these videos, like there's had been a whole bunch about Onision. I'm not going to go into the full nitty gritty of it, but at the same point in time, the amount of videos has been, I would say, in my opinion, unhealthy. Now, if you bring it up once or twice, that's fine. Like if you do a video here and then you update, that's all well and good. But when you do it more than once a day, that's where even I got to say, I'm going to draw the line. But Mike an Actor has come out and said and admit that he does the stuff for financial gain. Now, Thrash views it as exploitive, which on one hand, that is technically true. That is very exploitive because you take it. So in the case of Onision, when it comes to the alleged pedophile we'll say the accusations of pedophilia, if that's the right way to put it, and then everything else that has been kind of creeping up from the woodwork, it's brought out a few individuals that have made very disgusting comments. Heck, Thrash, he did his 2 live streams, and when he played one full video, which I'm not gonna bother playing it just because of the fact that if you guys want to watch Thrash's live streams, you can, if you want to, while I'm talking about this, feel free to, go, on YouTube, search up Thrash Metal Guru and look up, Thrash Metal Guru, Mike an Actor. He actually has 2 videos and, streams. They're a bit long, but to my understanding, he's leaving it at that. But in the comments, there was one particular individual, I won't say who, because to me that gives a what's the word I'm looking for? Publicity? We'll use that word. But they had made several scathing comments, which to me is morally wrong in more ways than one, because of certain moral standards, certain circumstances, and just all in all, personal distaste in my end of the spectrum. Now, here's the thing with me. I'm a realist, and I look from both sides. So, I look at it from Thrash Metal Guru side. I look at it from Mike an Actor side. If there's people that put their 2 cents in, I am more than willing to look at it from their side. I'm the kind of person that likes to approach an issue from every conceivable angle you can possibly imagine. Now, when it comes to people that cover things like the Onision, especially with the Onision stuff, if you're doing it for monetary value, I personally feel that especially if you, with the amount that Mike and Actor's done, and I can't, no one can control what Mike and Actor does. He's in charge of his channel. He can do whatever he wants. But when you exploit a situation, and I'll even bring up another situation, and this is actually was on and I can't believe I have to remember this. This was actually on Thrash Metal Guru's blacklist. Vegan Gains had discussed his grandfather's passing and used it as a way to force veganism down his viewers' throats. That, to me, is exploiting a person's death, which, in my eyes, is spitting on. In his case, he was spitting on his grandfather's grave. Now, in the case of when it comes to the victims of Onision, and here's the thing, just victims in general, those who've survived, whether it's sexual abuse, whether it's emotional abuse, whether it's psychological, physical, the whole umbrella of abuse. It, to me, there are those who have committed abuse. There are those who've been abused. Now, throughout time, as time had passed, Thrash had admitted to various, I'll say, to put it, various shortcomings, various poor choices in that he himself has made, and problems that he has had. Looking back at that, it reminds me of a very interesting quote, and those of you watching, you might know this quote very well. The first step to solving a problem is to recognize that there is one. Now, when it comes to the case with Thrash, the first step for him to solve his problem was recognizing that he had or has, again, take it as you will, has a problem. He came forward with it in the interest of complete transparency with his audience. And that's the kind of individual that I am. If I have an issue, or if I want to talk about my problems, in essence, you could say, I guess one, I've had anger issues, or I'll, I have no problem talking about it. Though those are, in quote, cards that I prefer to keep close to my chest. But when it comes to what's happened here, I'm actually going to read a comment that I noticed in Thrash's comments. I don't know if Thrash is able to see it, but what and it's in both videos, and he actually sent me a screenshot of an interaction with an individual. Again, I'm not gonna name who it is because they don't deserve any publicity from my channel. So here we go, and I'm actually going to read a couple, and even Mike and Actor had actually had jumped on in the comment section. So again, I'm gonna I'll read some comments, analyze. So pretty much, Thrash had mentioned how he committed, and this is nothing against him as a person. He had done, had himself has been guilty of dealing verbal abuse, some emotional abuse. Now, whether it was, and the way that I've known Thrash for almost 5, maybe 6 years, he's the kind of guy who is not exactly. Let's see the best way to put this. He's not exactly open with himself, with his feelings, but I know, especially if I look at him, how he was when I first met him to the way he is now, I can definitely say that he has been a lot more open. He still keeps some cards close to his chest, as he should. You shouldn't always trust everybody with everything. I trust him with a lot of things with me, and I've actually discussed some personal issues that I myself have had. But overall, there's still some things that I no matter, probably never will discuss with him. Who knows? Only time can tell that story. But he wanted to use. I can't really say use. I guess he discussed that those problems that he has, and or what he's done, and other various pieces of himself, and he as a way to yeah, Jax, that's why we are all friends. Amen to that. And he wanted to use that as a way to speak out against those who inflict, whether it's domestic, sexual, emotional, physical, the whole 9 yards when it comes to abuse. He wanted to use that as kind of a stepping stone, if you will, to help not to help bring, bring abuse survivor victims together, to and being able to kind of set up open, if you will, a community of sorts where people, whether it's they can talk about their problems, whether they can talk about what they learned, how they survived, what bits and this and that. However, there are people out in this world, as much as I hate to say this, but again, I'm a realist, so I have to say it. There are people who are going to twist words. There are people who are going to take things so like someone comes at you from, like, if I were to come at you from left field and you're looking right field, example. So, and there are unfortunately people who do that. I have no idea why. I never will know why. I'm no psychologist, and I'm not I'm not licensed into that. So I'm not going to give you an explanation for that. That's a mystery that humankind will likely take to its grave. So I'm going to read some comments, and I'm also going to read some excerpts from a couple other facets of the internet. Here's the thing about the internet, and I'm not going to say who this person is, but I'm putting this person on blast. The things you say, when you put it on the internet, nothing is sacred on the internet. You put it out there, even if you try to get rid of it, it's still there. That is one of the blessings and curses of the internet. You put it there, it's stuck there. So let's get to it, shall we? So I'm actually going to start with Mike and Actor's comment. This one is from the rant video that was made by Thrash. Hello there. If I've upset you, it wasn't my intention. I can only be true to myself and my own morals, as I don't know you or your values. I believe I'm doing some good, and furthermore, persons, I'm actually reading this word for word, so if the grammar sounds really bad, don't look at me. I'm not the one who typed this. Directly involved have indicated to me directly, you didn't need to put that in parentheses, by the way. You've already stated that point, that I am doing good. I hope you are not offended if I aim to please people directly involved in a situation over you. So I think he means if he chooses to please those that are involved over Thrash. Again, don't know. I take a great deal of pride in my content, and that's all I have to say. I won't tell you how to feel, but you should know there are no hard feelings from my end. So again, and I haven't checked, I got Thrash's second video stream up here, and I'll check to see as well if there's any excerpts on that as well. So give me one moment. Let's see if he has actually posted, because here's the thing. Mike and Actor, I've got no problem with the guy. Like, I get, his way of thinking is, it does make sense and it doesn't make sense. It's a double-edged sword. Like, there's going to be people who will get it and say go for it. Then there's going to be people like myself, like Thrash, that are going to call it out and be like, no, you claim it's good, but you admit you're doing this for money. You can't say you're doing it for somebody and doing it for money. And that's how I feel. If you're calling something out, manipulation equals misery. Amen to that. If you're going to call out a situation and you're doing it for money, to me, in my opinion, and here's the thing, I doubt Mike and Actor will see this. If he did, I'd be impressed. But it makes you sound very disingenuous, because you could at that point, when you admit you're doing it for money, meaning you're doing it for clicks. That at that point, at that structure, at that juncture, not structure, you pretty much take your credibility and pretty much by saying you're doing this for money, you are willing to tear your words to shreds. It takes that good intent. And because you admit you're doing it for money, it's like a piece of paper. You just shred it up. You can tape it back together, but that paper's not going to be the same. Never will be the same after being torn apart. Heck, it's like taking a car mirror and breaking it off of the hinge, or not hinge, off of how it's of its setting. You can hot glue it, you can duct tape it. It ain't going to be the same ever again, though. And that's the situation here. If you call somebody out, yes, I believe you should. If something is wrong, it needs to be talked about. Sorry if you just heard a beep. I just got an email. Not even bothering looking. But on the flip side, you can't, you got to put, in my book, your priorities straight. If you're doing it for money, to me, it's not for the greater good. Don't get me wrong. I get why people do YouTube for a living. There are people that I am subscribed to that do this for a living. The Angry Joe Show, who does video game reviews, very well known for his angry reviews and angry rants. Let's all be honest, for those who've watched them. Then we have Neebs Gaming, though for those of you who may not know who I'm talking about, this is a YouTube channel that has done various gaming series. They've done Ark Survival Evolved, which they're currently on Valguero. I'm hoping when Genesis comes out, they'll start on that, but they've got a bit to go. Though I really wish they'd go back to the island, fight off the bosses, go to Ragnarok. Oh no, they beat Scorched Earth, they've beat Ragnarok. I want them to go back to Extinction and beat the actual main boss of Extinction. Don't know if they ever will, but they're currently on Valguero, which is a pretty map. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. Review Tech USA, who does various topics of discussion, not just about technology, though he has slowly kind of shimmied his way back into talking about a lot of tech, though he talks about other things as well. There was Mick Juggernuggets, who, Young Jax, I'm sure you remember that individual really well. But that's just to name a few. So, but there are people who do things strictly you can for entertainment value. That Angry Joe Show, Neebs Gaming, Markiplier, Jacksepticeye. I'm just naming off people in general. But when it comes to a very serious situation, that's where you got to separate what is needed versus what is wanted. If you are doing something for money, you can't then say you're doing it for this person. It is very you'd have to be able to walk a very thin, blurred line, and that line 99 times out of 100 is always crossed one way or another. And to be honest, that's not good. So let me read the comments. I'm actually going to jump to the second video here just to see if anything's mentioned by Mike and Actor. And in the second one, he has been silent. So, I will assume that it has been squashed between him and Thrash. So now I'm going to read this particular comment. Thrash, and I'm not going to read the Thrash's actual name unless he wants to. Thrash is someone who is a narcissistic abuse survivor and was mentally abused every day for 9 years. We abuse survivors don't need your, in quote unquote, help. Thank you. We don't need bullies or cowards who bully people who aren't around to defend themselves like you. This time when someone stands up to you and you run from the internet again, stay gone. Don't come back to help, quote unquote, because we don't need your kind of help. The fact you haven't taken this down and apologized to Joy Sparkles, for attacking her, even though she hasn't been on social media for over a year, shows your selfish intentions for doing this. You got angry, you wanted to lash out at weaker targets and get views. You don't care about survivors, Thrash, you care about you. When you run this time for the sake of everybody, stay gone. Here's where I'm going to call this individual a complete moron. Completely ignores, apparently either ignored the stream, or completely missed the point. The fact that I see Joy Sparkles thrown into this argument, that's low. And then calling him a bully or coward who bullies people, selfish, and then saying that he wants to lash out at weaker targets. And again, I'm gonna assume he's referring to Mike, an actor, as a weaker target. Comparing the two, he's got it twisted. If we go by the subscriber count, because you got Mike, an actor, who's got 28,000 plus subscribers versus roughly 1,500 subscribers. Weaker targets. Now, if you're referring to people in real life being weak, then I was about to say this, I'd consider you very, very cold. Someone who apparently has no compassion, no understanding, and most likely doesn't believe in people changing. I'm going to read another comment because because there's a few things that really just like strikes a nerve for me on multiple levels, and it just gets funnier. And I don't mean, when I say funny, it's not like a funny ha ha ha, but like one of those raise your eyebrows and really, really strong suspicion. And all that time trying to figure out how to do the stream, my computer's at 19%, so I'm gonna have to put this back on the charger. So you guys may have to deal with me in a much lower lighting. If it's very low, I apologize, but I need to charge my computer. Apparently, running a live stream on this was not a good idea, but with everything happening, I felt the need to get this out of the way. I doubt that's gonna work. Hold on. Give me a second, guys. Jesus. Okay. Apologies, guys, that this stream is kind of all over the place. Gotta love testing. Okay, let's see. Shoot. Okay, let's. Of course, it freaking throws it off. Okay, well, at this point, you guys we're gonna have to deal with a little low lighting for the moment, unless I can figure out. Oh God, that just made it completely black. That ain't gonna work. So, okay. Well, for right now, while my computer is charging, let us deal together with the low lighting situation against my better wishes. But whatever. Now, so the way I'm looking at this issue, this individual has been very dark, to put it lightly. Now, let's go to the second one. Okay, let's flip on through. Because the way I'm looking at this, here's some more comments. I don't want sympathy. You're the one going to stream chats and begging for sympathy, child. My abuse made me strong to deal with bullies like you who think they're entitled to attack people and deflect their crap on others. Please keep this stream up so I can use it in my BitChute vid to show what kind of person you are. Thanks for that statement. We'll make a nice soundbite for my video. Now, here's the issue. I watched both of these live streams, and this individual is apparently completely, undeniably missing the entire point of Thrash's rants. The fact that he's meant that he or she is actually, no, I know what kind of person this is. The fact that this person's missing the point it further proves why I feel there has been a growing toxicity, a growing ignorance, and growing intolerance of individuals. It's like, it's again, I bring this up. If people do something wrong, the world believes that there's such this god awful person that they're never able to change. I'm gonna put this person on blast in another way though, because of the fact that this person also threw out in the thing saying, and I can't believe that I'm gonna throw this up. Whoever is thumbing this up, you're as messed up in the head as Thrash. He mocked an abuse survivor, the very people he claims he wants to help. Absolutely disgusting. Saying abuse survivors beg for sympathy, that is seriously messed up. Keep the stream up. And again, that's the funny part. That repeat this individual repeats that bit. Very sad. Mocking me because I admit I was abused. You are seriously messed up in the head. And someone who spoke up in not just really in Thrash's defense, but in just the defense in general, just said literally nobody mocked your abuse. You were mocked for being and I don't care for PC. I don't care for politically correct or PG. Fucking moron. Now, if I do something that's kid friendly, I will keep it kid friendly. Let's keep that in mind. I'm sure Young Jax already knows who I'm talking about, but let's, again, so for the sake of this, Young Jax, let's keep this off of that because no point of publicity. But so attacking Mike because he's refusing to respond to you. You're angry, you poor little snowflake. If you want nothing from him, why attack him? That's the issue with you. I'm not gonna say this particular word. You fucking idiot. He's not attacking somebody. That's the thing with Thresh. He sees bullshit. He calls out bullshit, just like I do. I'm seeing your bullshit, so I'm calling out your bullshit. But the thing is, and then you also say, by the way, you blocked me, but look at my tweets, coward, laughing my ass off. Wow. So you resort to attacking somebody. You resort to name calling and a bunch of other really ridiculous and pathetic attempts of attacking. That's pretty bad. You claim that abuse made you strong, yet you are going to the basest form of someone who apparently can't stand up for themselves because you have reduced yourself to name calling. You have reduced yourself to attacking somebody else who, one, has a different opinion, two, admits guilt of doing things in his past and is trying to work to better himself, and in doing so wants to help others as well. I don't see how that's attacking. I don't see how that's selfish. You go as far as to say you're a victim of narcissistic abuse. I hate to say it to you, narcissistic abuse is not abuse. That's narcissistic is a person's behavior. That's not a form of abuse. There's verbal, there is sexual, there is physical, there is emotional and psychological. The domestic abuse can be categorized into any, if not all, of the categories that I have just mentioned to you right now. And the fact that you resort yourself to base name call, not result, that you have resorted to base name calling, that doesn't make you better than Thrash. Hell, it doesn't make you better than Mike and Actor. If anything, you just made yourself look worse. Heck, I can't believe I'm going to say this. You're making yourself look worse than McJuggernuggets. At least McJuggernuggets had the. I can't believe I'm going to say this because I had so much issue with his entire Psycho series, even though he finally comes out and admits that it's fake. And he also actually called out YouTube for its bullshit when it comes to demonetization. So, probably the very few two things that I will tip my hat off to him for. Let that shot sink into your brain, young Jax. I actually praised McJuggernuggets for something. Hell has frozen over. So, here's the other aspect of the internet that I'm going to call this person out for their bullshit. This just gets funnier and funnier and funnier. So, this individual also saw the means to attack via social media. And here's the thing, like I said this about the internet. It is a very toxic place. Probably the most toxic place of all. And the reason I can say this is because I've seen a great deal of dark things, especially when it comes to people. Now, give me one moment while I cycle through this. If you guys want to ask me anything that is outside of this, you are more than welcome to. So yeah, bear with me while I dig up some of these very interesting gems, if you will. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to dig through quite a bit of these, but don't worry, I will get them. I will pull them all out of here. Okay, let's get back to where it's started to crop up. And let me see if about dividing this thing over. There we go. Okay. Let's slide all the way back down. Okay. By the way, for those who are watching, how was y'all's Thanksgiving? Let's at least start with that. So, oh my God, really? This is one interesting and possibly disturbed individual. I have no idea why, but Thanksgiving was great. How about yours? For me, it was very low key, but very good. We decided we skipped tradition. Who needs turkey when you could have something better? But that's me. Okay, so I apologize if this is taking a little bit longer. There were several shots that I need to look at, but I'm also trying to make sure that things that I've got the very earliest because of the fact that, well, to make sure that I leave no stone unturned. And I hear a train. Yay. Okay, how far back am I? Okay, there's got to be I gotta Work my way further down this thing. We're at the a couple days ago. Actually, today's the 30th. So actually, a few days before that would have been okay. I'm trying to make sure I keep my chronological timeline here in order. So bear with me. There we go. So okay, so this is definitely recent. Let's see. The date was okay. Perfect. That's what I needed. That should make it easier to swing through. Okay. Now, but the one thing I can say is I will do a rebuttal video tomorrow on this topic and more. Awesome. The funny thing I'm noticing about this individual is that they're mentioning a lot of things about narcissism, failing to stand up for oneself, PTSD. Like this is very That's also like this is a very intriguing individual, if not a possibly disturbed. Now I'll explain the disturbed part once I get to the first gem, if you will. Whoop. Okay. Keep on. Wow. Undisgruntled randoms. This individual definitely seems like a potential fan of Mike and Actor. I will not lie, but at the same time, maybe, may not be. So we're not gonna put that label because you can't do a label unless you can prove that the label deserves to be there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Very intriguing. Okay. Wow. This is one very strange person. I will not lie. Controversial ban for Patreon after alleged doxing. Well, that's a whole different issue that one does not care about. Just lost main source of income. Yeah, who cares? Well, then again, who cares about that individual anyway? Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so. All right. Mm hmm. That one's about key. All right, I'm not too far from it. There's so much stuff that's just disturbing. Okay, this is going to be intriguing because I just found something that while it doesn't exactly throw him, that doesn't exactly throw that doesn't exactly throw Thrash under the bus of sorts. I'm going to read this off as I'm going to say this to this individual: check your grammar. Not trying to play grammar police, but your grammar does also suck. As an, I'm gonna use my grammar for this. As an abuse survivor, I'm telling you people who think you're helping by attacking others, trying to actually help, you're not helping go away. We don't need people similar to our abusers. So go back to the rocks you came from. Here's the problem. When you resort to name calling, you resort to labeling, again, it doesn't make you better than the people who are abusive. You end up turning yourself into a twisted form of abuser because of the fact that if you don't agree with someone, trying to silence them the way that this person's doing it, censorship. Last I checked, this country has free speech. Free speech, freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of expression. We have a right to express ourselves. Do we not? Yet this individual wants to silence Thresh Metal Guru. Explain to me, said individual, why should he be silenced? What gives you the right to be his judge, jury, executioner? Because last I checked, you have no right. You're an abuse survivor, said you endured abuse for 9 years. Well, I'm sorry you had to go through that. But let's also bear in mind, he's gone through abuse just as much. Here's an interesting fun fact. Those who abuse others, more often than not, are victims of abuse themselves. Now, that is not to say that is always the case, but studies have shown that a majority of abusers have been victims of abuse in some shape or form. Now, again, that does not imply, and there's going to be people that will try to twist these words if they see this, but there will be those who are just cold-hearted, sadistic, conniving, manipulative, exploitive, and just, you know what, to throw the word, downright abusive in the worst conceivable ways. The stuff that I went through, for example, I endured for almost 2 decades. And what I went through and have continued to go through is not something I would even wish upon my worst enemies. And when I say worst enemies, as in people who I'll admit that I hate. I would not wish my life of abuse that I went through on anyone. And that says a lot. Because there are people that'll wish people to either kill themselves, that'll wish others that others would just disappear, never come back. Have you guys noticed? I can actually remember going back to about maybe 1995, maybe at the very furthest in that period, 2000. So about 20, 25 years ago, things were never, ever this bad. Now, people will blame the internet. People can blame people. People can say that people have been that way all this time. And you know what? All 3 of those points may be true. Those 3 points may not be true. Who can say? But we have a problem, especially when it comes to communities, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Facebook, whether just any platform. You could have you have the gaming community, you have the ranting community, you have just people that'll get together to discuss things. Like, name a community. Name them. Each one has problems, and 99 times out of 100, it revolves around toxicity. It revolves around censorship. It revolves around attacking people just because they have a point of view and an opinion that you don't like and or don't agree with. Here's the thing, if you don't agree with someone's opinion, at least be respectful. I remember one content creator who pretty much got I'm not going to sugarcoat it. He pretty much got run off of YouTube because certain individuals didn't like him. That's sad. A person who did content for the sake of just having a laugh to make his viewers laugh gets run off the platform by, to put it bluntly, run off by a bunch of assholes that didn't like what he did, didn't like his character that he played during one of his skits, didn't like his opinions. They hated it so much their best way to censor him was to boot him out. And how'd they do it? Flagging, reporting, videos, the whole 9 yards. Look what's happening now. It's worse to me now than it was 3 years ago. It's worse than it was 2 years ago because now everybody is so desensitized. Everybody is so ignorant and intolerant to differing views, to differing opinions. I remember back when people could actually have differing opinions, and I don't care whether it's politics, I don't care whether it's sports, I don't care whether it's video games, I don't care whether it's anime or this or that. Back when I was younger, we could at least sit down and just talk and just discuss on a respectful level. In this day and age, you can't even do that anymore. In this day and age, it's screaming matches. In this day and age, it's Twitter rants. It's meltdowns. It is ungodly as to how bad communication, how bad thinking, the lack of, I guess you could say, critical thinking. It's very bad at how far we as people have fallen. And I can't believe I'm going to say this, how the mighty have fallen. I remember this one video clip and if you guys remember this, it was from a thing called the Newsroom. I can't remember the exact actor in the show, but there was this question that popped up asking the three individuals to name two things that make America the greatest country in the world. They come to the third person and they pry, and eventually he says, "It's not the greatest country in the world." And he goes on you could say not exactly a tirade, where he's just ranting and raving. He actually goes on a spiel discussing various statutes, various issues, even going on to say, because, hey, sorority girl, just in case you wander into a voting booth, let me make sure that I say this to you. There is no evidence that is able to support that we, as America, are the greatest country in the world. And then he just goes on these statistics. Granted, most of it is just show-based, but the sad part is that it touches on a lot of things that are wrong with this country. But the biggest thing wrong with this country are the people in it. Now, that's not to say that everyone is bad, because for those who watch, I'm sure you guys would agree, there are good people out there. But there's a lot of bad. And you know the old saying, one bad apple can spoil the entire bunch. And looks like me kind of going on this little bit of a slight rant myself has just woken up my dog. Sorry if you hear what sounded like almost like a bell ringing. It's actually the collar. Okay, let me continue. Let's get back on the track here. Now, let me sling up to the next portion of, I guess you could say, attacking, if you will. Just this individual has so many other things in between that it just drives. It's just hard to make sure to grab everything. But it is what it is. Especially when this individual has a very intriguing, strange taste. Yep, and this person's definitely got to be a fan of sorts of Mike and actor, because I'm seeing some stuff saying for someone let Mike know Greg is copyright claiming and yada 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 yada. So I'm not gonna read all that. Banned from Patreon, has been posting yada 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 blah blah blah. Like, there's some very weird stuff in here. But let's get through up here. I really wish I could just filter these, but unfortunately, this certain site has no way to sort and filter. So, whatever at this point. The meltdown continues. The Lone Wolf. I take offense to that because that's the nickname that I've had for so many years. But you don't see me copywriting that, do you? I agree, the state of YouTube has gotten worse. It definitely has, in the worst ways possible. In the ways that you would think should have already been fixed. Laugh my ass off, you absolute coward. Laugh my ass off. You have muted blanks from this. You are blocked from following and viewing. Okay. And again, another narcissist post. After that, let's keep on trucking up. More narcissist posts. You see, how fixated is this person on narcissism? And the sad part is that this individual's behavior pattern and comments are borderline narcissism. It's really sad. Was going to do a vid on BitChute, but the sinus headache is refusing to quit. I will as soon as it goes away. Blank Thrash blocking me because I told him off for attacking people for no reason will be addressed. Make I think I meant to say continued. As will him going to a stream and playing the victim, trying to get sympathy points. That astounds me. He attacked 2 people, one of them not on social media anymore, yet goes on and cries victim unbelievable. Well, you got no room to talk because and here's the thing, even if what you're saying is true, even if Thrash did the very thing you claim, what you're doing. Oh, speaking of. Speaking of which, looks like one of my buddies just popped on, so maybe he'll drop into this. Maybe he'll drop in on the stream chat. Let's hope so. So anyway, let us immediately segue back, shall we? So even if what you say is true, even if he attacked somebody, which for as long as I've known him, the only way he's going to attack anybody at this point in his life is if somebody who knows what buttons not to push and just pushes them just to get a rise out of them. That's how Thrash is. Here's Here's the thing. It takes a lot to get under his skin. But there are some things, some situations, some issues, some topics that can get under one's skin in the quickest and worst way possible. I should know. I should know. For as someone who's known Thrash for 6 years, maybe even longer, someone who I am proud to call my friend, I will even say this, Young Jax will vouch, and even Thrash will vouch. If I see bullshit, I will call it out. Even if it's my friends, I will call them out on bullshit. So why don't we continue, shall we? This is just getting more and more fun. I thought I was going to be flying into a rage. Instead, I find myself laughing at just how low certain individuals actually are. Oh my God. Thank you, Young Jax. I really appreciate that comment. That means a lot. It's just nice to see that at least there are some people that actually feel that way. As someone who, and here's the thing: if you guys want to know a little bit more about me personally, just say you can type in hashtag personal life if you want to. If you'd like to hear more about me, if you want to hear about something specific, don't be afraid to ask. That's the kind of person I am. Let me back up a little. With the future of this channel, I do want to be more, like Thrash. I want to be more open. There will be things that I may not want to talk about, and if you ask me something that I'm not comfortable with, I'll tell you I won't be comfortable with it. But maybe in time, I will eventually open up about it. But there are certain cards that I prefer keeping close to my chest. Okay. Thank you, Jax, for that. So, Thrash, do you think you're intimidating me by saying I asked for sympathy when I have never done that? You are a low-life human being. Wow. Again, attacking and resorting to name-calling. It just gets better and better. No, my abuse gives me a voice to stand up to people like you. You block me, but read my tweets, you absolute coward. Again, we resort to name calling. How? And okay. Hope things get better. Thought you would like to have a laugh. Okay. Immediately swing back. Sorry, I had gotten a message. I had to respond to it as quick as possible. And this is the funny part. This individual repeats posts over and over. Oh my God, this just... My abuse made me see people like you that attack people who think they are weaker targets for the vile human beings you are. Again, you resort to name calling. And to stand up to you because you have, and it says this in all caps, you have no right to do that. Well, you have no right to attack people when, one, you don't know them. Two, you have apparently missed the point of why they're bringing these things up. You just immediately go on the attack like a freaking attack dog and just accuse them of attacking. Resort to name calling, resorting to censorship by trying to, the way I put it, you even said in one comment the fact that you haven't taken it down and apologized. That's censorship. That is a direct violation of free speech. In a way, I'm grateful for my abuse and surviving it and still healing from it. It opened my eyes to how vile and evil people can be. You want to know a fun thing? Vile and evil have the same letters, just flipped around. Pretty much they took the E and put it at the end. For vile, put the E in the front and it's evil. How's that for a fun brain spinner? It opened my eyes to how vile and evil people can be and to no longer want that in my life. Are you saying you actually wanted that in your life? I hope not. But if you did, God have mercy on your soul. Sympathy, no. I want people to know you can survive abuse and evil people. Here's the thing. You can go about that message without attacking somebody. If you disagree with somebody, well, why not be respectful and be like, hey, I disagree with what you say. You could easily have a discussion with somebody without the name calling and personal attacks. But you chose to personally attack somebody. So your so-called high ground, you are actually on the low ground. Thrash is on the high ground right now. At this point, he's simply responded to you. I won't, and I'm not. You know what? I will read his response after I go through these. Because more narcissist posts like this. Please keep your stream up so I can show people how act. Wow, grammar, fix it, please. Fix it, Dice. Keep your stream up so I can show people how unsympathetic to abuse survivors you actually are. This person needs grammar school. Jesus. Keep mocking abuse survivors, Thrash, saying that talking about it is begging for sympathy. Keep giving those, keep giving, get your words right, those anti-Onision Discord pats on the head. Keep giving, keep getting, whatever. All it will do is make me be louder about standing up for abuse survivors with a gift saying you're a big coward. No, you're the coward. Here's why. You refuse to try to listen. You refuse to even listen to the people who have responded to you. For instance, you didn't listen to Ranter in Shades. You didn't listen to anyone who has rebutted or responded to you. You've just immediately brushed them off like nothing ever happened. Yet, you go on a tirade, a multi-post tirade in a matter of, and I'm still on one day, so in a matter of 24 hours or less, attacking somebody over and over and over and over. You're beat pretty much at the fourth post. I feel you're beating a dead horse over and over again. But that's the beautiful thing about internet. It ain't sacred. Never has been. Never will be. Wow. And don't let people like Thrash Metal Guru try silencing you by saying you're begging for sympathy so they can get pats on the head from a Discord server. Beating a dead horse, like I said, because now you're just repeating yourself. You are not bringing up any points. You're not addressing the points that are being presented to you. That makes you even worse than you try to make yourself out to be. Ah, boy. This is sad in the worst way of sad. Like, this makes sad look happy. Sorry, guys, if I seem a little run down by it. It's just really disturbing when certain individuals, certain people, just think that this is perfectly okay, that this type of personal behavior, this type of attack is okay. Because let's face it, it isn't. It is not acceptable. But that's the downside of the internet. It has bred a bunch of keyboard warriors and SJWs with it. If I feel well enough to want to play a game after this live stream, I'm gonna. Hey, come here. Relax. Relax. Seriously. Sorry. Gotta get Misses, I like to bark at everything I hear, even if it's something that's far away. Okay, moving forward. So now I'm gonna do two things at once. Why? Don't ask. Okay. Is that the end of the constant attack on Thrash? Or is there more? Clones running slow as hell. Da 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 da. Moving forward. So it looks like it's almost done, which would be nice because I'm tired of looking through this thing for all these shots. Ah, made it. Ooh. Let's see if I can. I might address these bit shoot I just found. You guys want me to play some snippets? If you guys want to see me play some snippets, let me know. I just found one. I just found a bit shoot, and I'm actually very tempted to look at some pieces. But I just want to make sure while I wait to hear that I can easily tell. My God, I can easily tell that these are about Thrash as well. Let me open this in a new tab because I actually want to see this. Okay. Now, whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, sensitivity preference. Yeah, right. Okay. Okay, this is for the books. I don't give myself compliments, but despite the sound issues, which I, fingers crossed, think I fixed, I think that video was the best I've ever done, mainly because it wasn't all about me. It was doing what is right. Someone with admitted anger issues shouldn't be on social media deflecting those issues on others. Well, people who are willing to attack other people shouldn't be on social media either, but that ain't stopping those people, is it? It's disgusting how this individual thinks that it's okay to attack anyone and everyone. Well, specifically attacking Thrash for speaking his mind. Yet calls him a bully for speaking his mind. Yet has no problem speaking their mind. Doesn't that sound like a violation of free speech to you guys? And doesn't that sound like, I don't want to say harassment, but attacking somebody for no reason whatsoever? What do you guys think? Okay. So now I've gone through all those. I managed to finally go through all of them. Thank God. That was long and stupid as hell. So now let me read Thrash's response. Go ahead, carry out your threat. I guarantee you're only going to make a complete fool and the people of yourself and the people we mutually know. You don't like that I criticize your senpai? Get over it. You don't know me or my morals or my causes. You delude yourself in thinking I'm doing this selfishly. Did I not say, okay, Luna wants, okay. Sorry, somebody wants attention. You delude yourself in thinking I'm doing this selfishly. Did I not say that I didn't want anything from Mike and that I'm good friends with one of Onion's victims? Did I not? Save yourself the embarrassment and go away. The community here thinks you're a goddamn joke, and you've even contradicted your actions by threatening me to humiliate me on a different website, yet you're supposed to take a stance, they can kind of be the same, against bullying? Seems to me this is more about you getting personally offended than caring about the situations of Onision's victims being used as marketing. So ask yourself who the real selfish one is here. I don't want people who follow me to turn such blind eyes. Same goes for your hero there. No one's immune to criticism, not even you. So back the fuck off. That was his response to said individual. And the funny thing about it is, he's absolutely right. No one's immune to criticism. Not even this person, not Thrash, not me, not Mike and Actor, not Onision. Nobody is immune to criticism. The only difference between these people is how they take criticism, how they give criticism. That is what separates people from the, as much as I hate to say it, from the animals. But I've also noticed that a couple others have started to drop in and start attacking some of Thrash's viewer base. That's sad. That is very, very sad. What happened to the days where, again, you could have differing opinions and be able to talk about them on a respectful level? I'll be honest with you. In this day and age, I think it was flung out the window. And for what? For clicks? For sexism? For abusive people? For narcissism? For money? For all the above and then and more? I ain't gonna lie to you guys. This is probably the worst state that I have seen people and communities in general. And it's painful. It is very painful to see. As somebody who agrees that we should stand up for those who are survivors of abuse. Again, I went through almost 20 years worth of it. Maybe more if I want to include the times when I went back to the places that I was subjected to and was going through it continuously until I would leave. We should fight for those who have been victims of abuse, who are survivors of abuse. We can have differing opinions. We can disagree. But we can also be able to have a sit down and talk with those we have disagreements with and be able to find, if we can't find a common ground, at least have a respectful level of dialogue, a respectable communication. That's the problem in this day and age, is that 9 out of 10 people don't want to do that. They just want to attack, censor. In the case of Onision, when people started talking about him, copyright claim, dox, rant, yada yada. You name it. The YouTube community, and it doesn't matter how you slice this, whether it's the ranting, anime, gaming, it has become increasingly toxic. The YouTube higher-ups don't seem to want to do anything about it outside of demonetization, although supposedly, you could take this with a grain of salt, the demonetization part is going to be going away. Whether that is true or not, I don't know. If it is true, congrats to YouTube for finally getting their shit together. Congrats to the FTC for nailing Google on some very deadly violations that Google did. I still think that YouTube should have never sold out to Google. YouTube was better off on its own. But that's a whole another topic for a whole another day. Back to the point of the toxicity in communities. The fact that people, whether it's Mike and Actor, whether it's as I'm going to take a word out of Thrash's playbook, fanatics, I'll say viewer base, the fact that we as people cannot, for the love of God, and I'm not a religious person,
cannot be able to sit down and talk. You can easily have a respectable discussion in a comments section if you actually put your mind to it and try. But so far, Thrash's side's done a very good job of that. Outside of some hostility, yes. But when I look at Thrash's behavior to people as kind of like me, I'm a reflection. Treat me with kindness and respect, I give you kindness and respect. The minute you double cross me, you get that back along with interest. I don't take shit from anybody. Thrash doesn't take shit. Those who I know personally don't take shit from anybody. If they see bullshit, even if it's from their friends, they will call it out 100%. Thrash and Young Jax may disagree with me on some things that I've said, and I may disagree sometimes with things they say. We at least can sit down and talk about it. We at least can sit, discuss, and find a common ground, find something that we can actually agree on, discuss, or be able to put two and two together. If people did that instead of attacking, I guarantee you. No, I don't. Let me rephrase that. I guarantee you, the communities nowadays on YouTube will be a lot healthier. YouTube, in essence, would be a lot healthier, even though the higher ups are really the source of a lot of the woes. But the fact that we can't even reach a mutual discussion, a mutual understanding over, in this case, Mike and Actor's way of gaining money via covering situations like these abuse cases, which I will be honest, if you're reporting some, you shouldn't do it for money. You shouldn't. And the fact that he admitted that he's doing it for money, I will give him props that he admits it, but you cross a line. You are not walking that line, you are crossing it. You can't walk it. There's one phrase I remember, and it kind of can fall in line with if it was used in the professional wrestling business. You can make friends, or you can make money. Now that can also show in real life in various ways, especially on YouTube. You can make friends, or you can make money. And so a lot of people that I've seen, like a lot of the bigger ones, made money by burning some bridges. There are select few exceptions to that. Two such YouTubers that are very close friends in real life, Jacksepticeye and Markiplier. They even made up a nickname for the duo, Septiplier, which I kind of got a bit of a chuckle out of when I first heard it. It's still kind of funny to this day. Some people even, I don't know where they came up with this, made freaking gay fan flicks of the two. God, that was some interesting content, but not sure how Markiplier and Jacksepticeye felt about it, but then again, they probably got a laugh out of it too. So here's the way I'm going to summarize what I've said. To the individual who took it upon themselves to attack thrash metal guru completely unprovoked, shame on you. Get your facts straight before you, figuratively speaking, shoot yourself in the foot, because you didn't just shoot yourself in the foot one time. You shot yourself in the foot multiple times. At this point, you pretty much shot yourself in both feet. Figuratively speaking. That says a lot. This is coming from a guy who believes that abuse victims should have a right to stand up for themselves. Being one myself. And I have plenty of flaws as well. I have anger issues. I used to, at one point, I got my pleasure, my laugh, my kicks out of watching people suffer. Even if I wasn't the cause of it, I would still find humor in it. I would find pleasure in it. And this, what I'm seeing when it comes with Onision, with all the pedophilia accusations, with the website that he had, with all the inappropriate content within the avenues of channels and communications that he's had, That's getting pleasure off of another person's misery. And any accomplices of his, I think should be equally charged with whatever he gets charged with. Should he get charged, his accomplices should get the same charges because not only did they know about it, they either instigated it, they were either in on it, or they knew and did nothing. That is what I think should be done with Onision. When it comes to Mike and Actor, I'll be honest with you, Mike and Actor. I don't know you, just like you won't know me. I doubt you'll see this video. If you do, I'll be surprised. But if you're really wanting income, if you want a stable income of sorts, if that's what your ultimate goal is on YouTube, you want to make it a job, okay. I can understand that. But milking the same situation over and over again, very stupid idea. Because at this point, you're clickbaiting. At this point, you are, to use a former YouTuber's terms, you are e-begging at this point. There's nothing wrong with making a video one day and then maybe 2, 3 days later posting another video with updates to a video you've done. That at least we could say, okay, that looks better. That okay, good job, good job. That would at least get you some kudos, I believe, out of thrash metal gurus community. Maybe even out of thrash metal himself. But when you do it more than one video a day, every day, same subject, every time, that's where people have a problem with you. That hell, I even have a problem because at that point, yes, that is exploitive. I even said in the chat, I'm starting to think when I was seeing these videos that you're actually worse than Vegan Gains, and Vegan Gains used his grandfather's death to force veganism down people's throats. That's really and for me to make that comparison, that is a very, very dark place to go. That's not a place you want to be put in. Now, do I agree with some of the points you've made? When it comes to Onision, for sure. While you may have good intentions, you may have a good message and a good intent for the message, but the message delivered with the multiple videos is bad. And the fact that people who are viewers, subscribers, are coming over and attacking those on Thrash's side who disagree with you, if you are a good person, and I want to believe you are, I believe in giving people chances. Hell, I gave the father of my significant other's children a chance to prove me wrong when it came to my views of them. I gave him a chance, even though I verbally ripped him a new asshole. And that was probably the one time where while I would normally stay out of it, when I got involved, it was like a time bomb hitting zero. That clock hit zero, get the fuck out of the way. I want to believe that Mike and Actor is a good guy. I'm sure Thrash, I'm sure Young Jax, I'm sure they want to believe it too. But there's got to be some things in place for us to be able to believe it. One of the things is that you should not allow your viewer base, your subscribers, to go to someone other's channel who has a dissenting opinion, a different opinion. You should be telling them, hey, no witch hunting, no attacking somebody else just because they don't agree with my methods or they don't agree with me. You should not be endorsing that. But the fact that you're being radio silent about it, and I ain't gonna lie, you haven't addressed it in the comments. You let these viewers carry on about it. It's disgusting. It makes it worse even because you see it and you do nothing. You say nothing. Are you as bad as the individual that I put on blast? Are you worse than that individual, or are you better? Because if you're better, then you better address that if you see this video. I feel much better now. That this tirade of sorts has come to an end. I am sorry if I did beat around the bush, or not beat around the bush. If I repeated myself on various pieces, there was a lot that needed to be said. There was a lot to talk about with that issue, and I'm sure there's some stuff that I'm missing that I'll probably remember by the time I post this video. But at the same time, I do want to talk about various other things. I do want that, there's a few issues that I wanted to talk about with my life, what's happened. So when I talked about personal issues of my own, yeah, one of those issues is an individual who I was abused by for almost 20 years. Coming to find out that this individual, who I knew was favoring another individual over me, and I don't like to talk about it. But that, again, if you guys want to talk, if you want me to talk about it, for those of you watching in the chat, if you want me to talk, if you want to ask me about me as a person, like I said, ask me a question in the chat, and I'll answer it. We can do some Q&A when I do these live streams. Now that I've found a way to do live streams, but I can't do it on my main part of the browser, which is stupid. Fix it, dice for Safari. Because apparently I can't do a live stream with a freaking webcam unless I do it on Google Chrome. Wow. Real smooth, Apple. Real smooth. Please fix that. So we can do some Q&A if you guys want to. If you guys want to, talk about how y'all's Thanksgiving was, I know Young Jax has kind of been, active here. For anyone else who's watching, you guys can jump in the chat as well. Because again, I only see really just one person interacting. I'd like to be able to interact with my viewers, not just with video games, but if I do more video logs, if I do live streams, I'd like to interact with my viewer base. Now, granted, I've got a long way to go to rebuilding my channel, considering it's been kind of dead in the water since I hadn't been really posting anything on it. Having a live tends to take that time away from you. So if we can do a Q&A. If you don't want to, that's fine. But I've pretty much said all that I need to say when it comes to this issue. I hope Mike does say something about the fact of people attacking Thrash when they shouldn't be. I hope it's addressed. I doubt it will be. I found the BitChute video, so I will likely play it. I might actually make a video addressing it. Or if you guys want, I can play the video right now, and we can dissect this video. It's really it's your call. You guys want me to play this video and have me dissect it, or do you want me to save it for another video? Because this video that I'm looking at is 38 minutes long. All right, got one person saying to save it. So, but let's see. Yeah, let me. I don't want to pin it. Actually, yeah, let me pin this for now. That way, every time I open the browser, it'll be right there. It'll be right there, ready and waiting. Okay. So we got some time. If you guys want to do a Q&A, feel free to ask me some questions. I'll wait for you guys to ask some questions. I'll give you guys about 5-10 minutes. If after a few minutes, if nothing's asked, then I'll end the stream. I just feel better now that I got that off my chest. After this past week, I felt like I needed to say something. I don't know if Thrash ever hopped in. If he did, if he dropped in for a few moments, then cool. But from the way he said he wasn't gonna be able to hop on, so it is what it is. But let me also preface this video by saying that I didn't do this on Thrash Metal Guru's behalf. He never asked me to make this video. I did this of my own. I did this by choice. I did this for my own reasons. How do you feel about the state of McJuggernuggets? Uh, when it comes to the path that he's taking, with how he says he's leaving YouTube on the January 1st of next year because of the things that he said. Honestly, I'm actually happy that he stood up, in a sense, stood up for those who are pretty much getting creatively stifled by YouTube, especially with the demonetization. From what he actually showed analytics on Storyfire showing the income, the revenue he's made from his YouTube videos. And one of the big ones, the more expensive ones, only got him like $230 at most, which is pretty damn bad considering his Psycho series made him millions. I'm sure you all know this. But how do I feel about the state of McJuggernuggets right now? I feel it's in a state of limbo. I know they're still kind of milking the Psycho Dad bit. He's still milking that a little bit, even though it's more. I don't know if I want to say subtle, but it's definitely not as crazy as the Psycho series was. I'm sure we can all agree there. So if he does leave YouTube for Storyfire, I wish him luck. Now, if it turns out to be a clickbait thing and he stays on YouTube, shame on him. But if he wants to leave and then decides to come back, in the event that YouTube turns it back around and acquiesces to the content creator's demands, that would probably be the only way I'll give him a free pass if he stays on YouTube. Is if YouTube does something that actually acquiesces to the content creator. But I support him with the fact that he's wanting to leave and do his own thing. To me, that's actually a good thing. It might actually wake YouTube up when it comes to their content creators. The fact that they treat them this way. Jack says, "I will do a rebuttal tomorrow." All right. But maybe I don't know when you'll have it up. Maybe by the time you have it up, I may likely be at work. So when I get back, I'll be sure to watch that when I get home. I apologize again, guys, for the lack of lighting. I would go into the other room, but right now I'd have to charge my computer. So bear with me for the bad lighting. I'll try to see if I can set up some better lighting in this room, though it's going to be kind of tricky considering I only have this lamp right here. Though I could try to turn on this light above just to see if it improves the lighting, but I'll do some kind of tweaking around with this when I get off the live stream just to see if I can find an ideal lighting space. Worst case scenario is I'll be back in the kitchen, at least temporarily. You said you'll call me. All right, just make sure it's gonna be at a reasonable time because again, I'm actually working. I'm actually have a late afternoon going into the night shift at my job. Well, at least tomorrow. My work schedule this week was flipping crazy. Gotta love Black Friday weekend. I don't. All right. Is there anything else, or shall we wrap up this live stream and call it a night? In the event, if you guys did enjoy it, feel free to hit the like button. And if you guys want me to talk about any other topics as well, you can actually leave a comment. Let me know what you want me to discuss. I do want to try to expand my channel when it comes to various things outside of just my gaming. I can talk gaming related stuff. I can talk about various topics that you want me to talk about. Maybe source me some links and I'll look at them as well. All right, so great video. Thank you. So yeah, I guess we'll call this a wrap. For those of you who did take the time to come out and watch, once again, I know I'm kind of beating this horse. Sorry again for bad lighting over the last hour, give or take. Apologies if I was kind of going in circles with repeating myself, but I do appreciate you guys taking the time to be able to come out, to listen to me just kind of talk about this issue and kind of rattle and rant on it. And Again, if you liked it, feel free to hit the thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. If you guys are new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. Feel free to look at some of my older content. I'm going to be doing some more gaming videos, but I'm kind of wanting to go through some of my older games. So I don't know if it's going to be something that you guys are into. And if you want me to, just let me know in the comments by the time when this stream finally uploads to YouTube as an actual video. So again, thanks for coming out. Hope you guys have a good weekend. Right now it's 1:15 where I'm at, so I want to go ahead and kind of wind down. It's been a long day, so I'm probably going to play either some PlayStation Portable or PlayStation Vita, or I'll be on a console. If you guys, again, if you want to bring up some topics for me to discuss, if you want to discuss stuff with me, even feel free to talk in the comments. I'd like to hear some feedback, and hope you guys have a good weekend. Stay out of trouble, and in the case of people who have differing opinions, keep it respectful. Don't attack people, because in the end, the only person you hurt is yourself, and it makes your cause look bad. Have a great night. Peace.